Start.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Beacon House School System, Multan, Pakistan, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you all to Day 2 of World Education Week. The purpose of this celebrated week is to accelerate United Nations' commitment to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education for all by the year 2030. I am Kuratulain Fatima Hayat, the coordinator for the earlier section at Beacon House, Bosan Road, Multan, Pakistan. First, let's hear a word from our sponsors.
Hello, my name is Vikas Pota. The reason why we're organizing this global showcase for World Education Week is we believe that schools have incredible expertise in making sure that learning outcomes improve. Given the state of the world, we want to see the expertise from this particular school being replicated in schools all over our planet so that the world becomes better for everyone. That is why I congratulate this school for what it does and hope that those listening can take away conclusions as to how they should actually approach their own improvement journeys. Thank you all for participating, and I look forward to seeing you in many of the other events this coming week. And I also want to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors for supporting this incredible work, without whom we couldn't have put together this global showcase. Thank you, and I wish you well for this event.
Fast-paced social, economic and technology-driven change is redefining our world. And having a broad range of skills such as creativity and problem solving has become far more important than being able to memorize information. To redefine how our children learn and to empower them for the future, parents, teachers and policymakers must stop overlooking a powerful part of the solution: learning through play. Play is the rocket fuel of child development, and there is a growing body of evidence to support that play is fundamental for children's positive growth and well-being over time. It is also an essential way to foster the skills required to thrive in today's world. The LEGO Foundation aims to build a future in which learning through play empowers children to become creative, engaged, lifelong learners. To do so, we work with a range of partners around the world to change the hearts and minds of all of those who influence children's lives through our programs, research and advocacy, so they can all embrace the transformative power of play. Examples of what we do include making sure that caregivers, practitioners and policymakers understand the importance of play, investigating, testing and scaling new ways to bring play-based learning into homes and schools, using play to help millions of the world's most vulnerable children cope with adverse childhood experiences and toxic stress, or conducting research with some of the world's leading research institutions. Please visit our website and follow us on social media to learn more.
Language connects us all. It's how friendships are formed, ideas are shared, and lessons are learned. Language is how we find understanding and express love. It's how we communicate our successes, both big and small. It lays the groundwork for learning and growth. And for an increasingly diverse student population, it can be the key to achievement in school and beyond. That's why Rosetta Stone Education is dedicated to language and literacy. We offer solutions designed to support teachers and their emergent bilingual students, recognizing and celebrating the knowledge, culture, and languages they bring to our classrooms. Our products are founded on the adaptive blended learning model for individual needs, continuous progress monitoring for better learning outcomes, and culturally responsive pedagogies for more inclusive classrooms. With solutions aligned with proficiency standards, we support language learning while exploring academic subject areas, paving the way to better outcomes. Because for all of us, language is everything.
Dear T4 community, we talk a lot about teachers these days, but we rarely listen to them. Therefore, I am truly excited to join the T4 World Education Week to hear from teachers and school leaders all over the world how we can impact learning together. I'm particularly looking forward to the Global Showcase. 100 schools sharing their expertise and best practices, I believe, will be a huge motivation for other schools around the globe. I'm equally impressed by the T4 Solutions Challenge, its finalists and their solutions to real-world issues in education. This gives me hope that we can, together, turn around education globally. The Jacobs Foundation is a proud supporter of the T4 World Education Week because we share a vision to reimagine learning and education by bringing together the brightest people who understand how children learn. Let's do this together.
World Education Week, ladies and gentlemen, is a magnificent occasion where a select group of 100 schools from around the globe will showcase their expertise to an online audience throughout the week. As part of 2 schools selected from Pakistan, it is my immense pleasure and privilege to be present here at this spectacular event hosted by T4. Before introducing the panelists, I would like to take the audience on a video journey of the life skills activities happening at Beacon House School System, Multan, Pakistan.
मुझे जानते हैं, जैसा कि हम सबको पता है, अच्छी सेहत के लिए हाथों का साफ होना कितना जरूरी है।
बिल्कुल सीधा और हैमर को भी सीधा, और हम मुझे चोट लगानी है, ऐसे नहीं लगानी है, मैं ऐसे, मैं ऐसे, हमने बिल्कुल ये सीधी आप देख रहे हैं लगा।
This video has demystified the life skills program. It was indeed a delight to watch. Now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce the panelists. Joining us today are Ms. Asifa Tareen. Ms. Asifa, the school principal, Beacon House Main Campus, Boston Road, Multan, Pakistan, and cluster convener, Beacon House, Multan, Pakistan, has been working in the field of education for more than a decade now. She received her master's degree in food and nutrition, and in an effort to pursue her professional growth as a leader, is currently enrolled in Executive MBA in Lahore University of Management Sciences, Pakistan. Ms. Asifa, it's a delight to have you with us.
The pleasure is mutual, Ms. Kuratulem.
Next, we have with us Mr. Muhammad Salim Gondal. For the past 30 years, Mr. Salim has been part of the Beacon House school system. His craftsmanship skills are exceptional, and he has always won high praise for his skillfully made products. The students admire and respect him for his dependability and steadfastness. Thank you, Mr. Salim, for joining us. Mr. Salim, shukriya aane ka.
जी बाजी बहुत शुक्रिया आपका.
We also have with us Ms. Rifat Zulfikar. A diligent and passionate lady, Ms. Rifat has been part of the Beacon House family for 9 years. She has exceptional interpersonal skills and loves to work with children, which has earned her great respect amongst the school community. Assalamu alaikum, Ms. Rifat.
Walaikum assalam.
Also joining us is On Arshad. On is a brilliant, proactive and robust student with a positive attitude towards learning. He is currently enrolled in Class 8 at Beacon House School System, Multan, Pakistan, and is an added part of the School Student Council. Hello, On.
Hi, thank you.
Our final panelist is Gul Zara. Gul is an eloquent young girl with a desire to learn new things and try them. At present, she is studying in Class 8 at Beacon House School System, Multan, Pakistan. She is very passionate about painting and loves to listen to music in her free time. Her confidence and optimism have helped her achieve great praise at such a young age. Hi Gul, thank you for joining us.
Hello, Ms. Curriculan. Thank you so much.
Here, I'd like to take a moment and especially thank all of our panelists for being here today. It's a pleasure to have you all with us. I'd like to briefly contextualize what we are going to be talking about today. Particularly, the theme is building programs to enhance employability, entrepreneurship, and life skills. Majorly, we will be discussing enhancing students' life skills such as communication and interpersonal skills, self-awareness and empathy, assertiveness and equanimity, resilience through encouraging autonomy, and coping with emotions and stress. All this in partnership with school support staff. This partnership empowered the support staff to impart critical life skills to students through delivering lessons in Build School, pre-COVID part of the program, and through engaging video tutorials during the COVID scenario. The session is intended to walk us through the journey of the thought and implementation of the Life Skills program at Beacon House School System, Multan, Pakistan. First, I would like to take a moment and remind the audience to add the hashtag World EDU Week when sharing about the event. Also, please note that Mr. Salim Gondal and Ms. Rifat Zulfikar will be conversing in Urdu, their native language, while I'll be translating their responses to English for the understanding of the overseas audience. Here, let me remind our viewers that this is intended to be an interactive session. The audience may ask questions at any time during the panel discussion. There is an option of question and answer window on the right-hand side. You may click on the question icon to move it up. We will address as many questions as possible during the ongoing session. Moving on to the discussion. Ms. Asifa, after watching the video, we can see that students are working independently and practicing various life skills. What actually drove you towards pursuing life skills as a tool for advancement of your support staff?
Thank you so much, Ms. Curriculan, and it's an honor to be here at such a prestigious international forum to share this idea of teaching life skills by empowering and involving the support staff in the process. Before I touch upon the reasons for converging the objectives of life skills teaching and support staff advancement, I would like to speak a bit about the importance of learning the life skills. In today's fast-tech world where everything is available at a touch on the mobile screen or click on the mouse, to meet any physical, emotional or social need, we cannot deny that to stay connected to the real world and to survive and to reach one's full potential, our students need to be independent and self-sufficient when it comes to managing their need to know what to do and how to do, not just in daily routine, but also in any unusual or emergency situation. No matter how tech dependent they become, they will still need to know how to, safely use electrical appliances, manage and repair equipment, prepare basic meals, iron clothes, do their laundry, or, organize their school bags. Having said that, life skills are not just about doing one's own chores independently to lead a successful life, but it is also about empathy and interpersonal skills. So coming back to your main question, that why I converged the idea of life skills teaching and the idea of involvement of support staff in this process, I believe that support staff of any school is the backbone, and smooth operations of school depend so much on their support and involvement. They are as valuable a human resource as any other team member. This belief was further reinforced when Beacon House school system at national level started celebrating Global Dignity Day since 2011 every year in the month of October. Initially at my school, it was a one-time activity held for 3 days or a week in October, during which our students would, hold morning assemblies to thank the support staff for their contribution in school upkeep, and they would give them notes and cards of thanks. But it was greatly felt that acceptance and celebration of dignity should not be a one-time event, and rather it should be one of the core values of the school and should be deeply entrenched in our school culture and ethos in a consistent manner, rather than just being sympathetic towards the school support staff. We wanted our students to walk in the school support staff's shoes, to value the expertise and the skills that our support staff have, not just related to the school upkeep, but also their expertise and hands-on experience related to survival skills that our students need to learn to meet one's physiological and safety needs independently. So this belief drove us towards pursuing life skills as a vehicle for advancement of our support staff.
Thank you so much, Ms. Asfa. Thank you for that response. Now talking to Mr. Salim, who has actually been conducting these life skills. Mr. Salim, you are the designated carpenter of the school and have been responsible for its upkeep for the past 30 years. With a switch in this role, how did you feel teaching life skills to the students? सलीम साहब, आप स्कूल के कारपेंटर हैं और 30 साल से स्कूल के कामों का ख्याल रख रहे हैं। आपको जब ये पता चला कि आपने बच्चों को लाइफ स्किल सिखाने का मौका मिलेगा आपको, तो आपको कैसा महसूस हुआ?
जी बाजी, बहुत शुक्रिया, आपने मुझे यहाँ आने की दावत दी और मुझे अपने ख्यालात इज़हार करने का मौका दिया। बाजी, जैसा कि आपने तारफ में बताया है कि पिछले 30 साल से मैं बीकन स्कूल सिस्टम मुल्तान पाकिस्तान में एज ए कारपेंटर काम कर रहा हूँ। तो जब मुझे बताया गया कि आपने लाइफ स्किल्स बच्चों को सिखानी है, तो जब मैं उनको क्लासरूम में लेक्चर सिखा रहा था, मुझे बहुत खुशी हो रही थी जब उनको टूल्स के नाम बता रहा था और मैं उनको प्रैक्टिकल करने का तरीका भी बता रहा था। तो मुझे लग रहा था कि मुझे महसूस हो रहा था कि मैं अपनी नई नस्ल में अपना हुनर मुंतकिल कर रहा हूँ, जो मेरे लिए बड़े फ़ख्र, एजाज़ और इज़्ज़त की बात है। शुक्रिया बच्चे।
शुक्रिया सलीम साहब। So it made you really happy inculcating these life skills into the students. You went into their classrooms and taught them those skills which they now can independently work with. Thank you so much, Mr. Salim. Gulizara, you are popular for being a versatile student whose aptitudes range from drama and theatrics to science. Academics apart, Gul, do let us know, what difference did you find between traditional learning and learning life skills?
So every time we hear the word learning, the image of a professor or teacher pops up in our head. But this time the circumstances were very different, as a support staff was getting the chance to play a role of our teachers. Even though they have been a part of our school for over a decade, but their skills were hidden all along. As they cannot be a teacher without exposing who they are, they inculcated their interpersonal skills into us in a brilliant way. They rejuvenated our skills and helped us enhance our leadership skills as well. The thing they did, I guess the books or traditional learning could never do. Thank you.
That's fantastic, Gul. On, you are a very energetic student who is always looking for new things to try. So please tell us, what actually motivated you to be part of the Life Skills program?
Thank you so much, Ms. Kurtland, for the question. When we are learning new skills, we can adapt ourselves to any situation. This gives us a sense of accomplishment and valuable experience. I believe in self-motivation to learn and explore new things, which can bring a positive change in lifestyle, and my personal interest also involves in learning interesting activities. For example, I am interested in car maintenance and life preservation tools, and the activities of changing a car tires and operating a first aid kit were included, which intrigued me to become a part of the Life Skills program.
Your experiences are fascinating, On. Thank you for sharing. Gul, we have a question for you from the audience. How was the content of these sessions designed, and how challenging was it for you as a student to accept the support staff as teachers?
So this process was moderated by our administration and our faculty members, where the question of our interest was asked by the students. Then the skill sets that the support staff hold was also asked, and then the interest of the students and the support staff skills were aligned together. So this is how the content of the sessions were designed. And coming to the part of the challenging part, that did I accept the teachers, the support staff as a challenging part, I guess it wasn't a challenging part. Instead, it was a mesmerizing experience where I encountered with them and I got to know them as a person. I got to know them by their names. Instead of someone who works in our schools, instead of someone who's just a support staff, I got to know them as a person. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gul. Ms. Asifa, talking about the Life Skills program, from the students' responses, I can see that it's an ongoing process at your school. However, when you must have thought about it, it would have been just an idea. So how did you transform the idea of launching a life skills activity into a tangible plan? Ms. Asifa, your mic is mute. Kindly unmute yourself.
Thank you, Ms. Kuruthulen, for pointing it out. So I was saying that the idea remains an idea until and unless we put it into practice. So in the initial stage, Life Skill Club was added to the list of the club activities which was provided by the school. I had a discussion with the support staff to share this idea of them teaching life skills to the students, to which they very enthusiastically agreed. They shared their interests and competencies, which helped us gauge their unique skill sets. Once they were on board, a bank of life skills activities and ideas were generated based upon their skill sets. At initial stage, we also involved our student council to share with us the activities that they wanted to participate in and the skills they wanted to learn through those activities. As a next step, life skills activities were shortlisted and scheduled level-wise across the academic session. Now, during the pre-COVID situation, our support staff conducted lessons in the classrooms. But once the schools were closed because of the COVID-19 threat, we shifted our classes and lessons to synchronous and asynchronous lessons. During these lessons, either our support staff delivered live demonstrations through Google Classroom, or they recorded their videos, and we shared those with our students in an asynchronous manner. And I must say that our teachers acted as the assistants for the support staff, who provided the support staff all the IT and technical and moral support for conducting these lessons. During Life Skill Club activities, school support staff conducted tutorials and they gave demonstrations on how to stitch a button, wash clothes, iron a shirt, set a dining table, and even as On mentioned, how to even change a car tire. So I want to mention that during the implementation phase, we continuously kept reflecting upon the interests and the needs of our students and the skill set that our support staff had. Sometimes, you know, there were activities that needed to be incorporated as per the interests of the students, but the support staff only had, you know, basic expertise related to it, and you know, they wanted to give more accurate and interesting demonstration. So in that situation, they would search internet and social media to ensure that their knowledge and expertise was to the optimum level, and they were well prepared for their lesson delivery. Our IT teachers helped them explore the net for required information. So throughout this journey, our teachers were also actively involved in facilitating and extending support to the support staff in conducting these lessons, and I must say that they worked as a wonderful team during all the phases of planning and recording these life skills lessons. And now, as our term has started since mid-August, we have been conducting our activities through Google Classroom, and we share life skills video tutorials with our students through our school's YouTube channel and Facebook page. So, you know, that's how our journey has been since the inception of this initiative.
And it does sound like a wonderful journey. Thank you for that response. A question from the audience for you, Ms. Asifa. For the challenges of the 21st century, which in your view is more important, life skills or soft skills?
This is an interesting question. In my opinion, soft skills are part of the life skills. I believe that life skills are a blend of emotional quotient and intelligence quotient. The knowledge part and the application part. If one has the knowledge but not the attitude, one will not reach his or her true potential. Soft skills such as decision making, problem solving, critical thinking skills, empathy, resilience, and coping with stress and emotions are as important as the survival skills, such as how to make a basic meal, find way to one's home if lost, how to launder or mend torn clothes, and wash hands appropriately, especially in the current situation. I think physical and safety needs are met by the survival skills, and our needs related to belonging, self-esteem, and self-actualization are met by asserting our soft skills. So I believe the soft skills are a subset of life skills and essential for every individual's success in life. Thank you.
Very well said, Ms. Asifa. Thank you for that response. Rifat, you have cared for and watched an entire generation of Beaconites. From a more individual perspective, what challenges did you face in teaching life skills over the internet, considering that the schools were closed due to lockdown? रिफत, आपने स्कूल में बीकन हाउस के बच्चों की कई नस्लों को परवान चढ़ते देखा है, लेकिन लॉकडाउन के दौरान जब स्कूल बंद थे तो इंटरनेट पर बच्चों को लाइव स्किल सिखाने के लिए आपको किन किन मिसाइल का सामना करना पड़ा? Ms. Rifat, kindly unmute yourself.
सबसे पहले मिस कुरतुलैन, मैं आपकी शुक्रगुजार हूँ, आपने मुझे यहाँ बुलाया और बोलने का मौका दिया। जैसा कि लॉकडाउन के दौरान स्कूल बंद थे, मुझे सबसे बड़ा मसला इंटरनेट का हुआ। इंटरनेट इस्तेमाल करना तो आता था, लेकिन गूगल मीट क्या है और गूगल मीट के ज़रिए कैसे पढ़ाया जाता है, ये मुझे मालूम न था। जिसको पढ़ाने के लिए मुझे स्कूल के टीचर्स ने हेल्प किया और मुझे बताया कि गूगल मीट के ज़रिए कैसे पढ़ाया जाता है। लॉकडाउन से पहले क्लास में जाकर मेरे लिए एक्टिविटी कराना बहुत आसान था, लेकिन लॉकडाउन के दौरान मेरे लिए एक्टिविटी कराना बहुत मुश्किल था। ये भी था कि बच्चों को मेरी बात समझ आ भी रही है या नहीं। मुझे एक एक बात को बार बार दोहराना पड़ता था और एक एक चीज को स्क्रीन के आगे लाकर मुझे दिखाना पड़ता था। जिन सब चीजों से मुझे बहुत से मसाइल का सामना करना पड़ा।
Thank you, Ms. Rifat. So you knew the use of internet before this lockdown, but you actually did not know how to teach the students through Google Meets. Teaching students in face-to-face situations was quite easy for you, but teaching through the internet was a difficult task, which you overcame with the help of the teachers and the IT support staff in the school. And when you were teaching them in the classrooms, you were sure that they are understanding what you are saying, but through that Google Meet, you were not sure if they would understand, and you would have to repeat those instructions again and again. Thank you, Ms. Rifat. And despite these difficulties, how did you manage to develop the interest of students in learning these life skills? आपने इन तमाम मसाइल के बावजूद लाइफ स्किल्स के लिए बच्चों में दिलचस्पी कैसे बढ़ाई?
सबसे पहले स्कूल ने बच्चों से क्लास वाइज पूछा कि उनको कौन कौन सी स्किल सीखने का ज़्यादा शौक है। फिर हमने उनके शौक को मद्देनज़र रखते हुए उनके लिए एक्टिविटी तैयार की, जिसमें बच्चों ने भी दिलचस्पी का इजहार किया, जैसा कि टेबल सेटिंग के दौरान मैंने उनको बताया कि खाना खाने से पहले टेबल को किस तरह सेट किया जाता है, टेबल मैट किस तरह रखा जाता है और टेबल पर हमें कौन कौन से बर्तनों की ज़रूरत होती है। इन सब चीज़ों का बताते हुए मैंने उनकी दिलचस्पी को बरकरार रखा। फिर मैंने सोचा कि छोटे बच्चों के लिए कौन सी ऐसी एक्टिविटी है जिसमें वो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा दिलचस्पी है। वैसे भी बच्चों को पानी से खेलने का ज़्यादा शौक होता है, इसलिए मैंने उनको हैंड वॉशिंग का सही तरीका बताकर और सैनिटाइज करने का तरीका बताकर उनकी दिलचस्पी को बढ़ाया।
Shukriya, Ms. Rifat. So in order to grasp the attention of the students towards those activities, you actually talked to the students and asked them about their interests. You taught them how to lay the table, about the proper plates and spoons and the settings of that. For young children, they like to play with water. For that, you came up with the idea of washing the hands properly. And in this current scenario, washing and sanitizing hands is really important. Thank you so much, Ms. Rifat. Gul, you have practiced a number of life skills during the program. But do let us know which life skill activity struck you as the most challenging one.
As life is all about accepting challenges all along, I believe that when I was practicing these life skills, it made me realize that I've been taking all these life skills for granted and how dependent I was actually on my adults. So once my school finally provided me with the opportunity to work independently without any adult's assistance, I got to work with needles and threads alone, which was the mask making task was a little challenging for me. Apart from that, the button stitching task was also a little challenging, but because these activities were based on my interest, I actually enjoyed learning them.
And Gul, how did you actually overcome these challenges?
I believe that with every new skill we learn, hardship and obstacles come with it. So thanks to all these technologies and gadgets around me, with only one touch on the screen, I was able to encounter with the support staff. I was able to know what the difficulty was, and I was able to clear all my confusions. Thank you.
Thank you, Gul, for sharing. As Gul just shared, practicing these life skills activities have been a bit challenging too in some cases. But once mastered, in your opinion, how does the life skill that you learned help you in a real life scenario?
After learning these skills, I have become self-sufficient, independent, and resilient. These skills have helped me to become self-reliant, and I'm confident enough to take the initiatives and figure out the problems. I am ready to face the obstacles and challenges on my way, and I am able to solve the problems confidently and independently. For example, in a real life scenario, if the hinge joint of a cupboard gets loosened, I can fix it up using a screwdriver.
Thank you so much, Mr. Salim, you have been going inside the classrooms both in built and virtual school. What was the students' response when you were teaching them these various activities during the course of time? सलीम साहब, आप बच्चों को ऑनलाइन और स्कूल में सिखाते रहे हैं। जब आप बच्चों को ये लाइफ स्किल सिखा रहे थे तो उनका रवैया कैसा था आपकी तरफ?
जी शुक्रिया। उनका रवैया मेरे साथ बहुत अच्छा था। वो मुझे टीचर को उस्ताद का दर्जा दे रहे थे, मेरी बात को बड़े गौर से सुन रहे थे क्लासरूम में जब मैं लाइफ स्किल सिखा रहा था। जब मैं उनको चीज़ों के नाम बता रहा था टूल्स के, तो बड़ी दिलचस्पी से मेरी बातें सुन रहे थे। जब मैंने उनको बताया कि बैटरी स्क्रू ड्राइवर भी है और 1 साइड स्क्रू ड्राइवर भी है और उसके साथ साथ 4 साइडेड भी है, और मैंने उनको हैमर पकड़ना बताया, हैमर का बैलेंस करना बताया, उनको नेल लगाना दीवार पे बताया कि छोटे नेल होंगे तो आप उनको कैसे पकड़ेंगे और जो बड़ा नेल होगा उसको आप दरमियान में से पकड़ेंगे। और उसके बाद मैंने उनको और चीज़ें भी बताई, जैसे कि फ्रेम है, वॉल क्लॉक हैं, ये चीज़ें मैंने उनको फिट करना बताई, बैलेंस करना बताई, उनको लेवल करना बताया। उनकी दिलचस्पी बहुत बढ़ रही थी। उसको देखते हुए फिर हमने और उनको भी इसके अलावा भी लाइफ स्किल सिखाए, जैसा कि गाड़ी रोड पे जा रही है, पंचर हो गई है, हमने उनका व्हील बदलना, टायर बदलना उनको बताया कि कैसे आप इंडिकेटर लगाएंगे, कैसे आप उसको अपना जैक लगाएंगे, फिर उसको नट ढीले करके आप उसको फिट करेंगे, उसके बाद फिर आप दोबारा चीज़ें डिग्गी में रखेंगे। और उसके बाद हमने उनको गार्डनिंग उनको बताया कि बेटे जैसे कि पौधे बड़े हो जाते हैं, उनकी कटिंग करनी होती है या हमने नई पनीरी लगानी होती है, कैसे हमने उनको पानी देना है, कैसे हमने उनकी गोडी करनी है, तो ये चीज़ें बताई। और उसके बाद हमने उनको बताया कि अगर आप क्लासरूम में बैठे हैं या गैलरी में जा रहे हैं तो आपके शूज़ के अगर तस्मे खुल जाते हैं, आप उनको कैसे गिरा लगानी, कैसे बंद करना है, कैसे उनको पॉलिश करना है। तो बच्चों की दिलचस्पी बाजी बहुत बढ़ रही थी। मुझे उस्ताद का दर्जा दे रहे थे और अपने मसाइल जब मुझे बताते थे मैं उनको दोबारा उसका हल बताता था। अब जब मुझे स्कूल में मिलते हैं तो मुझे सलाम करते हैं, मुझे बड़ी खुशी होती है, मुझे टीचर का दर्जा देते हैं, मुझे अपनी वीडियो बना के भेजते हैं, जहाँ उनको मुश्किल पेश आती है मैं उनको दोबारा से बताता हूँ, जिससे मुझे बहुत खुशी होती है और मेरे लिए बड़े फ़ख्र और एजाज़ की बात है। शुक्रिया।
शुक्रिया सलीम साहब। So when you went into their classrooms and taught them all those skills, they were really interested in learning how to hammer a nail, how the tools of different screwdrivers are, how to change the tire of a car wheel with assistance of an adult, how to hang the picture, how to hang the clock. And when you used to go in the corridors after attending these life skill lessons, they treated you as a teacher. Thank you so much, Mr. Salim.
Thank you, Baji. Shukriya.
Ms. Rifat, all these basic life skills are essential for adults, but in your opinion, why do you think learning life skills are important for children? Ms. Rifat, ये life skills एक बालिग के लिए तो ज़रूरी हैं, मगर आपके ख्याल में बच्चों के लिए life skills सीखना क्यों ज़रूरी है?
बच्चों को पढ़ाई के साथ साथ घर के छोटे मोटे कामों में भी बढ़ चढ़कर हिस्सा लेना चाहिए और अपने काम खुद करने की आदत होनी चाहिए, ना कि घर के किसी फर्द का इंतजार करना चाहिए, जैसा कि अपना स्कूल बैग पैक करना, अपना ट्रैवल बैग पैक करना, अपने रूम को सेट रखना और अपने कपड़ों वाली अलमारी को सेट करना, अपना टूटा हुआ बटन लगाना, फटी हुई शर्ट को सीना। ये सब चीजें बच्चों की आने वाली जिंदगी में रोज मददगार साबित होंगी, इसलिए मेरे ख्याल से ये लाइफ स्किल सीखना बच्चों के लिए बहुत जरूरी है।
Very well said, Ms. Rifat. In your opinion, it is very important for young children to be independent. They can independently pack their school bags or traveling bag, and once they know these little things, they can independently move around in the world. Thank you so much, Ms. Rifat. Gul, with every new learning, one feels a change in oneself. Do you think that learning new life skills helped you cultivate a positive image?
Every time we learn something new, there's always a positive change in our mindset and a positive self-image of ourselves that can be reflected by others' attitude towards us. As the positive self-image is the core of our personality, I believe that life skills help me boost up my self-esteem and my confidence. It also helped me find a more independent and proficient side to myself. Also, it was a transformation from an irresponsible to a responsible kid in the eyes of my adults. Also, people around me and my friends were now treating me as a more mature kid. Thank you.
Thank you, Gul, for sharing. Your experiences are wonderful. Ms. Asifa, I see the students passionately talking about the program. But what the audience would like to know is, what was the response of the school community towards your endeavors?
Ms. Kurutulain, the response and support from the stakeholders and community members has been overwhelmingly encouraging, be it Beacon House head office, parents, students, or our own faculty members. I really feel proud and privileged to share that this initiative was much appreciated by Beacon House higher management and was shared in Geneva with other leaders in Global Dignity Annual Leadership Retreat meeting in 2019. As the Beacon House learner profile reflects values and beliefs that are essential for students to learn and grow into responsible citizens of the world, and one can touch upon three of its attributes: empathetic, ethical, and holistic and self-sufficient through this life skills program. Beacon House Head Office Education Department will institutionalize life skills teaching across the board. Other than that, our support staff received a venerated response from the students, as Mr. Salim shared with all of us just now. To show gratitude towards the efforts of our support staff in the Life Skills Club, the students of our girls section planned and conducted a summer camp named Each One Teach One last year for the children of the support staff. And this particular camp ended with the closing graduation ceremony, which was attended by the support staff and their children. This was actually to thank in return to the efforts of the support staff. During the summer camp, our students had planned and conducted lessons related to English, math, science, art, music, and PE for these children. Other than that, our students' response in terms of submission of videos, which Mr. Salim just mentioned, in which we can see them replicating what they learn through life skills, is also very encouraging. Along with that, our parent body has always appreciated our efforts in this regard by commenting on our school Facebook posts related to life skills. They especially mentioned that when our students were staying safe at home because of COVID-19 scenario, teaching life skills was found to be even more relevant when parents needed extra help to keep a balance between work-life commitments. Yes, here I cannot forget to mention the cooperation and the support of our teachers who worked hand in hand, as I mentioned earlier, with our support staff in both pre-COVID and post-COVID scenarios. They helped our support staff deliver their life skills lessons in the best possible manner. So this was the kind of response and the appreciation and involvement from our stakeholders and community, our school community, which kept us going throughout this time.
Ms. Asifa, a question from the audience in reference to your answer. What were your success indicators throughout the program?
The success indicators are very important to know whether our plan is working and are we on the right track or not. A very apt question. One must have the clear objectives and indicators which act as milestones to keep one on the right track. At our school, we can see through our students' work submission in the form of the videos, as I mentioned earlier, that they can do so many of their personal chores independently. The other success criterion for us is that students have started taking responsibility of their actions. They try to keep the classrooms and corridors clean and throw clutter in the allocated bins to actually reduce support staff's workload. Students take pride in doing their own work as well as in helping others, which is another observation that gives us the confidence that we are moving in the right direction. Our students mostly quote during their online life skills session that how they help their parents or siblings at home by applying the skills that they have acquired during these classes. We have also noticed our students showing deep respect towards the efforts of support staff as they acknowledge their skill sets, as well as the way they value the learning they acquire from them. Most importantly, I feel so elated to interact with the self-motivated and proud support staff, taking more ownership of the school improvement goals and feeling themselves essential members of the school community. They have started taking keen interest in school issues and share suggestions for improvement related to school ambience. They quite enthusiastically share with us what their students want to learn from them and why they want to teach them certain activities. So these are few of the overwhelming observations that indicate that we are moving in the right direction.
Thank you, Ms. Asifa. Ms. Rifat, we as human beings are in constant state of learning, and after each experience in life, we grow as individuals. What did you learn while teaching life skills to students? Ms. Rifat, इंसान हर वक्त सीख रहा होता है. बच्चों को लाइफ स्किल्स सिखाते हुए आपने खुद क्या सीखा?
जी, मैंने बहुत कुछ सीखा. सबसे पहले तो मुझे एक उस्ताद की हैसियत से बच्चों को पढ़ाना आ गया और इंटरनेट का भी भरपूर इस्तेमाल आ गया. इससे मेरे अंदर कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ा और मैं अपने खुद के बच्चों को भी इस इंटरनेट के मदद से बच्चों को पढ़ा सकती हूँ और अपने आने वाली लाइफ में एक एज अ उस्ताद की हैसियत से क्लास में बच्चों को पढ़ाने का हुनर रखती हूँ या फख्र महसूस करती हूँ कि मैं भी एक उस्ताद की हैसियत से बच्चों को पढ़ा सकती हूँ और अपने आप को पहले से बेहतर इंसान महसूस करती हूँ. शुक्रिया.
Thank you, Ms. Rifat. So now you know how to independently use the internet, and that will help you to become a better person and teach like a teacher. Now you feel that you can teach any class and the role of a teacher can be acquired by you independently. Thank you, Ms. Rifat. You have been experiencing the activities firsthand for a couple of years now, and for each learning there is always an application. How do you plan to extend your learning to your community?
Being a proactive member of different NGOs, I'll take over the responsibility to convince my peers about the importance and effectiveness of the life skills in our daily life. I will explain how these life skills are associated with managing and living a better quality of life. They help individuals accomplish their ambitions and live life to the fullest potential. Next, I will guide them about the particular life skill in an informative way. For example, trimming the hedges of plants in our park, which can bring a positive change in our community.
Thank you, On. Your ideas are miraculous. I hope Allah gives you the strength to implement them. Gul, you talk zealously about the skills you have learned till date. Which other life skills you wish to learn in future?
As on this journey, I have learned a variety of new life skills, which has made me more open-minded and welcoming to new challenges. So I want to step aside of the roles that the society has imposed on girls and boys. I wish to learn the skills that are being taught to boys, such as maintaining a car, hammering a nail, etc. I believe that when I learn all these life skills, I will be able to achieve a fully independent and pro-efficient side to myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Gul. Ms. Asifa, the field of education, like any other, is in ever-evolving state. And when something works as well as your program, one thinks of taking the plan forward. And you being so passionate about the program, you must have thought about it. What are some future avenues vis-a-vis of learning that you are planning to explore?
Ms. Kuratulain, as of now, with partial school opening, our students have started attending school twice a week, while for the rest of the week, our classes are online. We are reviewing how we can give our students the opportunity to learn life skills online and at school in a hybrid model. In future, we will continue with our practice of regular review and pruning of our activities, and will keep on adding more age-appropriate activities for our students. Besides this, we are discussing this idea, which was shared by a few of our faculty members, that they also want to learn certain life skills from our support staff related to repair and maintenance of electrical equipment, woodwork, plumbing, stitching, gardening and cooking. And so by the end of this academic session, our support staff will hold workshops for our faculty members related to life skills. But at a broader level, as I mentioned earlier, our education department will implement life skills teaching across the system to inculcate its learner profile attributes of empathy, self-sufficiency, and holistic development. So majorly, these are the few steps which will be taken in future. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Asifa. There's a question from the audience. If another school were to implement this program in their school, how would it benefit students with their career plans?
This is a very interesting question again. The career counseling is very much part of the school routine, especially in the primary and middle school level. Career planning is all about imagining that what an individual would want to do in future. Life skills are a stepping stone. They are the foundation on which one can plan their future. While our students are learning about different activities, they get the opportunity to explore their different interests and abilities. I can imagine that there might be a child learning about how to prepare a basic meal, and on the way, while learning how to make salad and sandwiches, he might find that in future he wants to become a professional chef. And similarly, maybe while doing gardening activities, a student might think about becoming a horticulture or landscaping expert in future. Other than that, maybe while attending lessons related to carpentry and woodwork, there might be a future interior designer. So we never know that. So it's actually about giving our students the opportunity to learn and experience different activities so that they can actually think and how they can pursue with their career in future.
Thank you, Ms. Asifa. Your program not only made your students problem solvers, innovators, and collaborators, it also simultaneously empowers the school support staff. It would not be wrong to say that your students understand the content and apply it in real life scenarios. Many schools, I'm sure, would like to impart these 21st century skills in their students. So I would request you to briefly share some important findings with the audience.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kuratulan, for this whole discussion throughout this time. The most important learning for the schools from this project is that they will find it helpful in embedding core values of the school. The core values of any institution are the building blocks upon which the entire ethos and positive culture of the school are established. Through these activities, a school can establish a work environment where core values such as respect for all, acceptance of diversity, cooperation and collaboration, and social sustainability can be embedded on a consistent basis. To develop empathy and social responsibility among students, school can incorporate this program into their school routine. The other takeaway for all school leaders is that they can make students self-sufficient and independent members of the society. We all know that for the success in 21st century, both for healthy societies and for a successful and employable individual, it is very important for our young generation to be self-sufficient in normal as well as in unprecedented scenarios. Promoted dignity among school community in a sustainable manner is yet another takeaway for schools from this particular session. The last but the most important learning that one can take away is how a school leader can stimulate teamwork and staff capacity building because this initiative made our support staff feel so valued and gave them the opportunity to realize that they have the ability and the potential to do much more than what they think they could do. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Asifa. Now I would like to sum up the discussion by stating 5 steps another school can take to replicate and undertake a similar journey just as yours. The initial step to be taken would be to collect data about skill set of the support staff. First, formulate the data about the specific skills that each member of the support staff possesses. For this purpose, the support staff can be asked to give suggestions and propositions for the skill set they are proficient at and would love to impart to students. This way, the support staff will take interest in activities suggested by them. The ownership of the program will be held at each level by the key person. Secondly, identify life skills activities that match the support staff talents and abilities. Teachers will help in identifying the life skills activities. Planning phase will involve details of activities outlined, resources required, and its method of execution. This will facilitate the support staff in conducting life skill activities and make them more understandable. Next, activities will be equally divided among support staff class-wise. For example, primary level activities will be conducted by one member and preschoolers can be taken up by another member of the support staff, while keeping in mind the expertise by the teacher and the learner. The third step would be take students on board to identify their needs and interests. Take students on board and identify their needs and interests according to their age. Observe and assess the students informally to determine their current skill set, attitude, and then note the needs revealed by assessment information, because when they are interested in the activities, they will willingly spend time practicing them. Next, plan, schedule, and implement activities throughout the academic session. In the next phase, school staff, including teachers, will schedule the activities so as to allow maximum time for implementing, reflecting, and refining the learned content through feedback. One activity can be spread over a span of 1 week. The concluding step would be educate the student population about diversity. To boost morale and promote diversity, let the students explore differences and equip them to make judgments based on a person's actions and skills rather than their designation. Main purpose of this plan is to empower the support staff and impart knowledge to students. I hope this panel discussion has paved the way in understanding the strategies and real thought behind converging all important points for implementing your expertise, Ms. Asifa. It is a compelling program as it is important to shift to student-centered teaching. Thank you, Ms. Asifa Tareen, Gule Zara, On Arshad, Mr. Salim Gondal, and Ms. Rifat Zulfikar for giving your valuable insights. It has given us a perspective that one should adopt while implementing your tried and tested life skills program. I would like to particularly thank Mr. Vikas Pota and the T4 platform for arranging this event. I hope it will help to accelerate the SDG 4 of United Nations commitment. Let's hear a word from Mr. Vikas Pota.
Hello, my name is Vikas Pota. The reason why we're organizing this global showcase for World Education Week is we believe that schools have incredible expertise in making sure that learning outcomes improve. Given the state of the world, we want to see the expertise from this particular school being replicated in schools all over our planet so that the world becomes better for everyone. That is why I congratulate this school for what it does and hope that those listening can take away conclusions as to how they should actually approach their own improvement journeys. Thank you all for participating, and I look forward to seeing you in many of the other events this coming week. And I also want to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors for supporting this incredible work, without whom we couldn't have put together this global showcase. Thank you, and I wish you well for this event.
Fast-paced social, economic, and technology-driven change is redefining our world. And having a broad range of skills, such as creativity and problem-solving, has become far more important than being able to memorize information. To redefine how our children learn, and to empower them for the future. Parents, teachers and policymakers must stop overlooking a powerful part of the solution: learning through play. Play is the rocket fuel of child development, and there is a growing body of evidence to support that play is fundamental for children's positive growth and well-being over time. It is also an essential way to foster the skills required to thrive in today's world. The LEGO Foundation aims to build a future in which learning through play empowers children to become creative, engaged, lifelong learners. To do so, we work with a range of partners around the world to change the hearts and minds of all of those who influence children's lives through our programs, research and advocacy, so they can all embrace the transformative power of play. Examples of what we do include making sure that caregivers, practitioners and policymakers understand the importance of play, investigating, testing and scaling new ways to bring play-based learning into homes and schools, using play to help millions of the world's most vulnerable children cope with adverse childhood experiences and toxic stress, or conducting research with some of the world's leading research institutions. Please visit our website and follow us on social media to learn more.
Language connects us all. It's how friendships are formed, ideas are shared, and lessons are learned. Language is how we find understanding and express love. It's how we communicate our successes, both big and small. It lays the groundwork for learning and growth. And for an increasingly diverse student population, it can be the key to achievement in school and beyond. That's why Rosetta Stone Education is dedicated to language and literacy. We offer solutions designed to support teachers and their emergent bilingual students, recognizing and celebrating the knowledge, culture, and languages they bring to our classrooms. Our products are founded on the adaptive blended learning model for individual needs, continuous progress monitoring for better learning outcomes, and culturally responsive pedagogies for more inclusive classrooms. With solutions aligned with proficiency standards, we support language learning while exploring academic subject areas, paving the way to better outcomes. Because for all of us, language is everything.
Dear T4 community, we talk a lot about teachers these days, but we rarely listen to them. Therefore, I'm truly excited to join the T4 World Education Week to hear from teachers and school leaders all over the world how we can impact learning together. I'm particularly looking forward to the global showcase. 100 schools sharing their expertise and best practices, I believe, will be a huge motivation for other schools around the globe. I'm equally impressed by the T4 Solutions Challenge, its finalists and their solutions to real-world issues in education. This gives me hope that we can, together, turn around education globally. The Jacobs Foundation is a proud supporter of the T4 World Education Week because we share a vision to reimagine learning and education by bringing together the brightest people who understand how children learn. Let's do this together.